perfect for the person who wants to just get their ideas out there. I know sometimes it's expensive and sometimes a little bit difficult to go into a studio to have somebody record you playing acoustic. And sometimes you might just have an idea that you really want to just get down and go ahead and share that with people. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. So overall, in this video, we are going to just keep it very simple. I'm gonna use all stock plugins from Logic. That is the DAW that I'm using, but you can use anything that you want. I'm splurging on my mic. I think that's the biggest piece of equipment if you're gonna invest in anything besides obviously your guitar, that a mic is gonna be amazing if you can splurge on that. A computer, you need an interface that is going to connect your mic to your computer. Obviously cables, a guitar is maybe a bit helpful if you're going to be recording that. And then you're also going to need something to listen back on that is going to give you the full sound. So really good headphones or studio monitors is going to be nice. If you're going to be listening straight out of your computer, that's going to be a little bit difficult because it's going to probably take out a lot of the high and low end and not give you an accurate sound. So using something like headphones that plug into your interface or studio monitors would be ideal. A piece of advice as you are going through this is make sure that you save your work frequently. Using Command S will save that really quickly, and that way you won't lose your work. Okay, so let's go ahead and start by setting everything up. So you want to choose a room that doesn't actually have natural acoustics, which is kind of counterintuitive. You're actually going to want to choose a room that maybe has a lot of clothes in it, or you might have sound panels on your wall or a big rug, something that takes out that natural echo. That is because we want to add in that reverb later on, rather than if you record in a space that has natural reverb, then you're not going to be able to have control over that. So choose your space first. Okay, after we've chosen our space, we're gonna do mic placement. There is a lot of ways that you can do this, and you can read all about those a lot of places online, but I'm just going to give you my tried and true method that works for most mics, and that is going to be about 12 to 16 inches away from the 12th fret of your guitar, and it's gonna be angled in at sort of a 45-degree angle. If you are using something like the Shure SM57, you can get a little bit closer, and you can maybe even get like 3 inches close. The biggest thing is you don't want to record right in front of the sound hole, because a lot of times it can get kind of boomy and basically take out all those pretty high-end notes from your acoustic and lose some of that detail. When you're recording acoustic, I think it sounds really great to do a stereo recording, so using 2 mics. But I know where I started, I didn't have 2 mics to begin with, and that felt like a lot. So I'm just going to do 1 simple mic in this video and make it really simple. There's a lot of videos out there though on stereo recording acoustic. One fun little trick is if you put your mic cord underneath your mic stand here, if you trip on it, like you're clumsy like me, and you give it a little pull there, it's not gonna knock the whole thing over as if you had just had it on the top. So kind of a fun little tip there. All right, so I am all ready to record as far as my mic placement now. I'm plugged into my interface, into my computer, and with this I'm gonna make sure as it's going into the interface, it's green, maybe going a little into the yellow, but you just wanna make sure it's not overdriving and turning red. And yeah, I'm ready to go. So I am just going to go ahead and record a little acoustic part, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, so for my personal preferences, I like to do EQ at the top and then compression, and then I will add a little bit of reverb and delay. A little hack that you can do too is you can do a stereo recording by doing a duplicate of your first track and basically panning them 2 opposite ways. Okay, so at this point I have recorded my acoustic. I usually like to do a few takes, have like maybe 3 in there, so that way if one part's gone wrong and I notice that later, I have parts to cut out and I can kind of pick and choose, or sometimes it might just not be your best day and you might need more takes. So anyways, I'm just gonna be focusing on 1 track in this, and here we go. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my channel EQ. And I like to have the EQ at the very beginning, and I like to think about it as like if you're editing something and then cleaning it all up. It's better to cut out all the ugly parts and stuff before you work on making them beautiful. All right, so now that I'm happy with my EQ, I'm going to go on to my compressor. So with compression, this was something that confused me a lot in the beginning, but basically all it is you're taking out irregularities in volume in your track. If you're new to using compression, to really kind of understand it, I would honestly recommend starting with the graph. But as you're going along, I think it's helpful to think around here, 5-ish, kind of under 5 is what you want to aim for how much that compression's working. Okay, next thing that I'm going to do is a bus track. If you're confused about bus tracks, this is another one that took me a second to kind of figure out. But you can think about it like you're making your own little track that has its custom mixes in there, and then you can apply it to everything. So sort of a universal setting. So if you think about this track like you were making a bowl of custom salsa, and then you could put a little bit of that exact same salsa on everything, that's essentially what we're doing. So for this, I am going to do reverb. I love the silver verb. I think that sounds great, but I also like to choose a custom room reverb. So there are a few that I really like here. There's actually a lot. You can listen through and be creative with these. I'm gonna use Grand Hall 3 today because I think that this one sounds really cool and I like it lately. So I'm just going to add this to taste and hear what that sounds like. Last thing that I'm going to do is add some delay in there. And again, I'm gonna just do a little bit here. And I'm doing this also on a bus track. So finally, with this last little trick I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this track and do the exact same thing, and I'm going to make this stereo. Okay, so for this, I am going to pan these in 2 opposite directions. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do 2 bus tracks for my delay. So this is kind of your extra credit way to make it sound even bigger and fuller. So with one track, I'm going to go it all the way through the left for the bus of the delay, and then the other one I'm gonna go all the way through the right. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my acoustic panned left and I'm going to put that in the right delay. I'm gonna do the same thing with the acoustic that's panned right. I'm gonna put that in the left delay. That's gonna make the sound kind of sound like it's coming from all directions, and I think it's just kind of a fun little trick that you can do here. All right, so we're going to play through that whole thing and hopefully we love it. Happy with that. So I hope that this video helps you. I think the biggest thing is just go for it and start trying, because you are gonna learn little things along the way, honestly, just by Googling things. And I would love to know from some of you that might have been recording acoustic for a while, what your favorite tips are for beginners. So go ahead and comment those at the bottom. All right, thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day.